that was putting brackets back. We just learned about something called null factor law, which allowed you to solve quadratic equations that were factorized if they equal 0. So if we combine those two ideas, maths is like a language. You can't just go straight into year 10 language unless you have year 8, year 9. Does that make sense? Like it's stepping stones. So I gave you stepping stones in this semester. We can solve some quadratic equations by factorizing. So I'm going to do something a little different to normal. These are the notes, but what I want to do is, most of them you already have from factorization. This you had from the factorization test. This, and this is from null factor law. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate how these steps work first, and then what I'll do is after I finish recording, I'll move up to here, so this you can get down for your cheat sheet or your notes, right? So don't worry about getting it yet. I want to demo it first, and then I'll move it up after the recording's done. So, how do I solve by factorization? Use step 1 is, if it isn't already, rearrange it so the right-hand side equals 0. This only works if the right-hand side of the equation equals 0. Second, you need to remember back to previous topic. I'm considering allowing the next test to be open book. Okay? And that's allowed. People do that. People do that all the time. They just don't say it. I'm quite open with it. You're just going to remember back to the 4 different kinds of factorization that we did last topic. And then the last step, once you factorize using one of those 4 options, you use null factor law to solve the equation. So let me demo that, and then what I'll do is I'll scroll back up here so that you can get that for your cheat sheet. So let's demo it here. Step 1 was make sure the right-hand side is equal to 0. Does the right-hand side of this equal 0 right now? It doesn't. It's equal to 7x. What could I do to get rid of this positive 7x? What's the opposite of adding 7x to something? Taking. So if I took 7x from both sides, x squared take 7x in a brick equals 7x take 7x in a brick to show that it's balanced. That goes away. You're going to have x squared take 7x is equal to nothing. That was the first step. That was step 1. If not already, rearrange so the right-hand side equals 0. Step 2. Use any method of factorization to factorize it. So if I look here, x squared take 7x equals 0. What's common to x squared and 7x? Is there something in the x? Good. So there is some memory from previous. If I remove x as a factor, put it on the outside of a set of brackets, you're going to have x take 7 left over equals 0. So we just did step 2. We use common factors, factorization, to put the brackets back. The last step is use null factor law. What is null factor law? Something times by something else equals 0. That means either A is 0 or B is 0. So here, do I have a times between the x and the brackets? Is that the sign that we don't write in algebra? So you've got A times by B is equal to 0. That's null factor law. So either x could be equal to 0. That's what this gives you. Or x takes 7 equals 0. This one's done already. X is equal to 0. But is there something more that I can do here? Do I have x by itself on that bottom one? I don't want to know what x takes 7 is. I want to know what x is. So what's the opposite of taking 7 from something? Adding 7. So the other pathway is x is going to be equal to positive 7. Those are my 2 answers there. All right, I'll give you a few moments. Can you get that example down? I'll do one more, and then I need to chat to some people. Did I die in the dream?
No.
She doesn't want to say. I probably did.
No, you didn't. No.
Yeah? Pam? Yeah, that's kind of weird. Sorry, what was it?
I said, did he just get pen?
Pen? Is that a term the kids use?
I think he's making up stuff.
So many terms these days. One of my ignites was saying skibbity or something, and then said they would lock in. Or, huh?
Yes.
Is that a younger thing?
Yeah.
Is that cringy according to you?
Burn him to the bone.
Hey, no.
Skip.
Is that a Fortnite thing?
No, it's not.
No, it's brain melt.
Does it mean anything?
It's like
It's brain melt.
Okay. All right, I want to demo the second one so I can have a chat to some people. No. Okay. Let me demo that again. Step 1, make sure the right-hand side is 0. Is the right-hand side of this equation 0 right now? No. So how would I get this positive 8 onto the left-hand side? What's the opposite of adding 8 to something? Taking 8. So this is going to look like x squared plus 2x take 8 equals nothing. This was the most painful factorization because this isn't two terms. It's not going to be difference of two squares. Is there an x in all three of these? No. So I can't use common factors. It's not a perfect square because 8 is not a square number. So we need to use that sum and product factorization to factorize this. What are the numbers I can times together to get 8? 1 and 8. What else is there? 2 and 4. Well done. Is there any other options to get 8? No. I stop there because the next one will be 4 and 2. It's the same thing. Is there a combo of positive and negative 1, 8 or 2 and 4 that I can add together to get positive 2? Is there any way I can get 2 with 1 and 8? I could get 9. I could get 7. Is there some way that I could get 2 by adding or taking 2 and 4? Which way?
2 take 4.
2 take 4 would be negative 2. This is a positive 2. Try again.
Negative 2 possible.
Yes. So you go, that's your A, that's your B. So this factorizes to x take 2, x plus 4, and that equals, it still equals 0. We didn't do anything on that side. So suddenly we have null factor law. Do I have two things timesing together that equal 0? I've got one bracket on the left that equals 0. I've got one bracket on the right that equals 0. So my options are x take 2 could equal 0, or x plus 4 could equal 0. So if x take 2 equals 0, how do I get rid of taking 2? What's the opposite of taking 2 from something? Adding 2. So the top one is x going to be 2. That's one option. Or the bottom one, what's the opposite of adding 4 to something? Taking 4. So the bottom option is going to be x is equal to negative 4. Can you get that example done, please? I'll give you like time to get that, and then I'll move it up to the steps so you can have time to copy those. So just remember I'm cutting down the, I'll copy and paste this first. So I get that example. Less practice that I'm asking you. I couldn't make you do the practice anyway, but I want to show you that I am understanding of the situation that you've been in. It sucks. I can't do anything about what's past. All I can control is what I teach. Okay? Also, when I said about if you don't like my teaching style, tell me what to do to improve, I'm honest about that. If over the weekend you can think of a better way of doing it than what I think I do, is tell you what I'm going to teach you, show you how to do it, and then ask you to practice it. Okay? If you can think of a better way to do that, you let me know. I'll change it. Tell me over the week. Or I'll stop there.